Brush Monkeys, we are back, and this week we are continuing the look at the Army Painter Flesh Tone set with the next triad, which is Topaz Skin, Dorado Skin Layer, and Amber Skin Highlights. Because we're using it on a male Barbarian here, I'm using the Strong Tone Skin Wash in between. And this week we're painting brand Oathblood from Reaper Miniatures. It's a nice generic Conan looking Barbarian. I think he's going to turn out really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get, you know, as with most Barbarians, he's showing a lot of skin, so be a nice test of the skin colors. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get started on him, and then we'll come back and see how he looks. All right, see you soon. All right, Brush Monkeys, we're back, and as you can see, he's looking pretty pink. He's looking a little darker because I turned off one of the lights. That's what he looks like with the light on, and as you can see, that kind of washes it out pretty badly. So I turned off that light. That's the base coat of the Topaz Skin. Now we're going to go in and shade wash it with the Strong Shade Tone, or Strong Skin Wash, excuse me. And then we'll come back and see how he looks when it's toned down a little bit. All right, see you soon. Bye. Alright, so now we got the shade wash on the guy, and as you can see, that significantly darkened up the skin tone and also brought out all that definition of the muscles and everything, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go give it a layer of the Dorado skin next, and then a highlight of this Amber skin, and then we'll take a look and see how he looks. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Alright, so there's our board layered up with the Dorado skin. You can see that all that muscle definition popping out. Looks really good. I'm kind of digging it. As with all the rest of the paints, the Dorado skin and the Topaz skin and everything else, it's a little thin and kind of needs to be glazed on. Some places you may need to touch up a couple layers to get a nice smooth finish on it. But overall, he's looking pretty damn spiff. So now we're going to go in with the Amber skin and do some highlights. And then we'll come back and take a look at him. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so now I have the Amber skin highlights on there. And I really like how he looks. I think his skin looks really fantastic. Now, he looks a little wet because I thought the Amber skin by itself was a little bit stark, so I took some soft skin wash and mixed it with a little bit of Lamy and Medium. Just thinned it down a little bit and glazed it on. And the great thing about glazing that on is it tones the colors down a little bit, but it avoids the kind of coffee staining that you get from just using the skin wash by itself. You remember how muddy it looked right after I'd washed him with the strong skin tone. It'd do that again, but you thin it down and it looks quite a bit better. So I'm pretty happy with how he looks now. I'm going to go ahead and pause here and let this dry, and then we'll come back and finish him up, do the hair and the leathers and the steels and all that kind of stuff. But the skin tone was really what I was focusing on this video, and I think the skin tone looks pretty slick with this guy. So, see you soon. Bye. Alright, Brush Monkeys, we're back, and we made some more progress on our guy here. As you can see, I got his hair done with the Nightmare Black. You give it that kind of black with a blue sheen like you get with the comic book illustrations of Conan and that kind of thing. So I thought that would look really good. Also got the Basilicum Gray put down on his sword and axe, and his little mug that he's got hanging off his belt there. And then I did his belt, this big lion belt, big old wrestling championship belt with the Vallejo Model Air Chrome. And there's a reason for that. It's I actually want the belt to be gold, and I'm going to do these little side panels in leather, and some of the pouches and some part of that loincloth is boots, all that kind of thing. Those are all going to be in leather. but I wanted that belt to be gold, and I wanted it to be like really shiny gold. And so what I did was I painted it with chrome first, and then when the chrome dries, I'm going to go back over it with Iandin yellow contrast, and that's going to make for a really nice bright metallic gold, and it's going to look really fantastic. It's a really simple technique, but it makes a huge difference, and I think you're really going to like how it turns out. So I'm going to go ahead and let this the gray on his axe and sword dry, and then I'm going to go do the base the leather parts, and this fur here is going to be Gorgonta fur probably. But yeah, I think that's going to look really fantastic, and we'll come back and see how it looks. All right, see you soon. Bye. All right, I'm back, and I've got his leathers done, and you can see that's starting to come together. And I think the axe and sword and everything are dry. You can see the leather's still a little bit wet, but all the steel parts I think are dry. So I'm going to go ahead and dry brush those with the Necron compound, and then we'll go hit that belt with the Iandin yellow, and I'll come back and show you how it looks. I think it's really going to look fantastic. After that, these two loincloths are going to be this back one I think is going to be Flesh Tearer's red. This front one is going to be Blood Angel's red, so it's going to be a little slightly different red. These little tassels hanging off his weapons here, one will be Flesh Tearer's, one will be Blood Angel's red. And then the hilt and pommel of his sword, and the just the hilt and pommel of his sword, and the hilt and pommel and shape of this little dagger here are going to be Palomino gold with greedy gold over it, just to differentiate it a little bit from the belt. So the belt's going to be a really bright gold. Those are going to be a little darkened gold, like they get used a lot. And then the handle of his axe here will be dark wood, Army Painter Speed Paint. So that's going to be the plan for the rest of the guy. The purpose of these videos, like the rest of them, is to show off the skin tone mostly. So that's why I'm kind of blowing through the rest of it and making a lot of progress in between shots, because the main purpose is just to show off the skin tone. So I'm going to go ahead and go do those metallics, and then we'll come back and see how it looks. All right, see you soon. Bye. All right, we're back, and we got all those metallics done. You can see I dry brushed the sword and the axe. Some of you are probably wondering why that sword's a little bent. It's a Reaper Bones figure, so it's, I've tried the heat it up and reset it with cold water, and it always just comes back to that. So we're just going to deal with him having a warped sword. But I got the colds done on the hilt and pommel of his dagger and his sword. Got the gold belt done. Now that I've got the Iandin yellow on there, you can see how bright a gold that makes, and you can see it's different from the greedy gold I used on the dagger there. So it really stands out nicely. That Iandin yellow brings out all that detail in the belt, and it really looks fantastic. I really like how that looks. So up next, I'm going to do the axe handle and the grip of the dagger there with the hardwood, and then we'll do his loincloth, and that should wrap him up. Well, I still got to do the base, but he's coming along pretty nicely. So, see you soon. Bye. Alright, we're back. We've got his golds done, we got his loincloths done, got the wood and the grip of his axe and the little dagger on his belt. Those are all finished. So really, for the most part, this guy is done. His base is going to be Reaper Muddy Brown, or Muddy Soil, excuse me. It's going to be a really nice dark brown. I'll probably give it a dry brush of Sylvaneth bark here. And then we're going to do some snow effects on the base, but I'm not going to do them the usual way. I'm going to do them a little differently. Instead of putting white glue on there and using snow flock, I'm going to use this Vallejo ground texture paste, which basically just, it's rough white pumice, is the color of it. And it's basically just the same thing that I use from my other ground cover minis is kind of the same stuff I've got on there now, but it's just white texture paste, pumice paste, and once that dries, it's going to look like snow, but it'll look like snow in piles rather than just a light covering of it. And I think that's going to really make a huge difference on that base. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the base and get the brown done, and then next time you see this guy, he'll be completely finished. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, there he is, our finished brand Oathblood from Reaper Miniatures, painted with the Topaz Skin Triad from Army Painter Skin Tone set. I think he turned out really well. I really like how he looks. This is probably my favorite triad for the Barbarian skin, because it comes out looking that kind of ruddy, sun-weathered Barbarian skin. I really like how it looks. I think it looks fantastic. So up next is Anko. Yeah, Anko, Barbarian hero that we will paint with the Dorado Skin Triad, and that will wrap up our look at the Army Painter Skin Tone set. We'll do one more video after that where I talk about the set as a whole and some additional paint you might want to buy to cover the full range of human skin tones, and really be able to paint just about any skin tone you want. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom here. If you like what you see, click like down below, and if you want to be notified when new videos get posted, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to support us in any way, check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We're on all those platforms. If you see a miniature on the site that you want to make one of your own, hit me up on Instagram. I can quote you a price for that. And if you want any Flying Monkey Studios merchandise, like t-shirts, things like that, hit me up on storefrontier.com/flyingmonkeystudios and get all your merch there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.